Page 84, St. Louis Blues. On page 82, they're introducing you to a contraption called a seventh chord. We not had seventh chords before. Let's talk about them. Kind of important, and blues music uses seventh chords. Just about all their chords are seventh chords. But they're pretty simple. Let's go back to C major because it uses all the white keys. It's an easy key to understand. I can build a chord on any step of the scale. You already know that. One chord, two chord, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we've had that. No big deal, I hope. Well, to get a seventh chord, I take a chord, any chord, whatever it is. I'm using a one chord here. It's fine. I could use any chord. And I simply add another note. And when I do that, I'm going to continue the same pattern of every other note. So I'm here. I want a ninth chord, I can go here. The idea is that the interval, the distance between the top and bottom note here in this arrangement, it's called root position when the notes are every other note. This arrangement, the distance here is a seventh. That's why it's called a seventh chord. We're adding a seventh to the chord. Here, and then I add a seventh. We're talking seventh from the bottom note. That's a seventh chord. 4 notes. We don't use them all the time. You don't have to use all 4 of them. I can leave out either the 2 middle ones is fine, doesn't matter. But and I can, again, they're on any of them 7th chord. They're all 7th chords. I can turn them over. I can have inversions. I can put the C on top. I can put the E on top. I can put the G on top. If I put the B on top, we're back to root position. So it's first inversion, second inversion, third inversion. You get of course, if I go down, that's third inversion. I mean, numbering wise, we go up. So even if I go down here, I turn it over and go backwards. That's still called third inversion, not first inversion. First inversion, you're going up. The numbers for the inversions go up, is what I'm saying. But you can go either direction. Are we confused yet? Well, hang in there because I'm still working on it. You got different kinds of 7th chords or different kinds of chords. We'll get into that later. Just know basically what a 7th chord is. And what they do on page 82 is the first line, they're giving you the basic chords. They're starting down here. It doesn't matter where you start. And all the white keys. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter. But in the second line, they're simply leaving out one note. And it's like I said, you can leave out either of the 2 middle notes. So here, if I go to that, I got that. The third line, they're leaving out the other note, leaving out this note. Okay, whatever. I mean, if you're arranging music, it's what sound do you want. Putting them all in makes it heavy, makes it sound heavy. Where am I? It's a heavy. If I leave out a note, it's not so heavy. It's a little lighter. It's not so blurry. The higher up you go on the keyboard, the more notes you can handle like that and it'll sound okay. But when you get down to the bottom and you do that kind of thing, it just comes across as a blob. Ugh. You have to be careful. If you're arranging music or improvising or something and you're down toward the bottom here, keep your notes further apart and don't use so many of them. Up here you can use more notes. It's okay. I'll give you permission. So that brings us to St. Louis Blues. 4/4 time with 1 sharp. I can tell you it's in G major. It's just, it's blues, so you're wondering what the key is. It's going to sound bluesy. It's going to sound with all these 7th chords. It's not just going to be a straight harmony that we've been used to hearing. This will sound 7th chords all over the place. Right hand first 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3, and that's tied. You're going to hang it down. And then come down, it's 2, 1, 1 and 2, and you're going to hang on, that's tied, hold that down forever. Second line, second measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 1, and hold that down forever, and then go on, third finger. 2 and 1 and. That's fun. It's a C, an F sharp, it's in the key signature, and a B flat. You can get away with a 1/4 on that whole note if you want, because you're coming off of this and you can hear if you want. And then go on, it's 2. So it's 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and hold that down for a while and then go. Now here, the third finger at the end of the first line there on page 85. Third finger, this puts you in position for this stuff. Third line down, you come up here, just reach down, keep your hand up here, sort of, this third finger on the, it's still an A sharp. All of those A's in there are A sharps. And the last couple measures, it's an F sharp, A sharp, and then an F natural, A natural. Play those legato, like so. The left hand, we have a standard boogie-woogie pattern, and there's multiple patterns in boogie-woogies, but this is one of them, and it's here, and you'll get this all over. You might get it elsewhere in the keyboard, wherever, I don't know where it's at, it's just, that's the pattern. But what I'm recommending you do is at the beginning of each of these, use 5-2 instead of 1. You don't have to use thumb and all. So I use 2. I use 2 on the first. This will serve you well later on. Another thing, if you get into the habit of just using 5-2 on the first one. Here. Go over to page 85, second line, you're down here. I'm still using 5-2, and then you come back up to where you were going 5-2. And then the whole notes. Remember the F sharp, and then you're back to here. The last note at the bottom of page 85, that is a G, way down here. You can figure it out. You need to know that 2 ledger lines below the bass staff is a C. Just memorize it, C. 3 ledger lines would be here, because they go every other note. And then a G is under that third one is here. That's the note. Put the hands together slowly. Rest. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. I don't know if you're getting this rhythm or not. Rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So work this out slowly, as slow as you gotta go to work out all these things, and then go get rid of all your hesitations and stuff. Once you have that, we can go put in some articulation, which there isn't much. And they want this pedal, so it's gonna cover everything up anyway. I'll talk about that in a minute, but right here is just try and put in the, pretty much the slurs. And the rests are giving you between the slurs, so you can lift up anyway. So really, as far as the articulation goes, you don't have much to worry about it. These in the left hand, there's different ways of articulating that. You can do it that way. You can play more staccato. You have to experiment with the sounds you want. When you paddle it, it doesn't matter. It just covered it up. Then dynamic-wise, it's moderately loud at the beginning. That's the right hand. Keep this left hand out of the way. bottom of page 84, they put in accents. So it's 4. And lift up between each of these slurs. Here. So each one of those 8 sharps is accented. And again, accent. So third line down on page 85, the first measure there, the end of it, the accent. We need those. And all the time, well, here you got whole notes in the left hand, it's not quite so bad. Then once you get all that, think about it's a slow blues tempo, and because it's blues, we play it in a blues style, which means we swing the 8th notes. We just automatically do it. There is an optional at the bottom of page 84. In my opinion, it's not optional. If you're going to play blues, play it in a blues style, and that means you swing them. So the counting, instead of 1 and 2 and 3, it's 1 and 2 and 3, and that's the count. 1 and 2. It's a felt thing. There's no notation for it. You feel it. 1, 1. Because the short notes are not always going to be the same length. It's how you feel it. Ba, da, 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 da. The whole thing is that way. So all 8th notes only, nothing else. So when you get down to the bottom of page 84 on the second measure here, it's bluesy. Oh yeah. You get the idea. It's just real laid-back blues style. Now, on top of all that, they're suggesting pedal. I disagree. I think the whole thing could be played very well without pedal. I like to hear this phrasing, and I like to hear a little silence between those chords. They want it pedaled. So if I pedal it the way they're suggesting, this is what we get. It's overlapping pedals, so the hands, the notes go down first and then the pedal. Rest. You come up on B4 for the rest. Rest. If you like that sound or you're fine with it, go with it. I don't like it at all. I really don't. So I would recommend, if you're going to use pedal, you almost have to change it on every beat. Now in this kind of a thing, like in the second measure, I don't need it. I don't need pedal. Here I can put it down there. It just adds it adds overtones, which changes the color. I mean, we're playing around with sound and color, and so you experiment with the pedal to see what it does to the color. And on that B flat, I like to add overtones to that, but otherwise no. So the second measure, I don't know, I just don't like pedal there. I don't like to see that blurred. I can pedal it down. After I play the A, I can put the pedal down to connect the left hand here, and on the B flat again. So really what I'm doing is I'm pedaling it, and I'm pedaling and not overlapping. I'm still getting my silence. I'm just adding overtones to it. I'm adding color to it. Rest. Rest. And on these, I don't pedal that. I know it's all one chord and it sounds fine. I just like it cleaner. I can pedal that. And I can pedal this because otherwise there's a... See, to connect those, I pretty much have to pedal them. And again, I'm pedaling with this left hand. And I'm just letting the right hand do its thing. Here I'm pedaling with the right hand so I can hear the phrasing. And I don't pedal any of that. Now here at the end we want to pedal this. We want overtones here. Oh, let's legato pedal there. And then at the end the pedal and the hands come up at the same time. You'll have to decide how you want to pedal it, or if you have a teacher, they'll tell you. But if you were my student, I would mark in all of these and pedal with each one. Here, and I wouldn't overlapping because I want a little silence between them. And for these, like in the second measure, I wouldn't pedal until I get to the E, B flat. And that's just to add color to that one. And then I let up. Right there. So I'm kind of complicating the pedal a little bit. In my mind, this makes it a much cleaner and funner sounding thing. Gets a bit heavy when you pedal it all like they're telling you. We don't want it to get heavy. I don't want it to get heavy. I don't know what you want, I can't hear it. As far as how fast it goes, you'll have to decide it's a slow tempo, whatever that is, I don't know. In my mind, if you're going to take it that slow, that's all the more reason not to overlap it like they're telling you, because that means you have more time to hear all the mushy stuff. And we don't want mushy stuff. So it's up to you on how fast you go. I mean, we're going to take it slow. Maybe this is about the speed it should go. Let's play this together very slowly, checking the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to pedal it the way I suggested. I'm not going to do any dynamics or anything, just notes and rhythms, but I am going to swing the eighth notes because that's kind of important in blues. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's try it slowly together. 1, 2, ready and go, and 1.